The calm before the storm. It's meteorologist Joe Martucci here. Let's talk about what we have going on for our weekend. It's not going to be a nice one. There's no way around it here. We'll time it out. We'll start off with the beginning here, 12 to 9 a.m. Saturday. I think this is the worst part because we have very heavy rain. We also have strong winds as well. But that being said, during the day Saturday is no peach either. I mean, we're talking about our highest winds during this time. We also have PM tidal flooding to worry about as well, even though the heavy rain will turn into hit or miss showers. Then from Saturday night into Sunday, it's periods of rain and it's breezy, and we have a round of morning tidal flooding. We'll take a look at our forecast for today. It's thickening clouds. We're getting ready for the storm here, and it becomes increasingly breezy. High temperatures only around 70. We look at Friday night, stormy after midnight here, and now let's get into it. We'll show you what we have going on as we go into your Friday. So it's a 7 a.m. Friday. Cloudy across the area. Then as we go into the day, again, it's dry. But here comes the rain around midnight, and it becomes increasingly windy here with sustained winds 25 to 35 miles an hour. It's a soaking rain for your morning. I think after about 9 a.m., it starts to break up here, and that continues throughout the day. And then as we go into Saturday night, it's some periods of heavy rain, strong winds as well. This will continue into the night, and then by Sunday morning, we have that tidal flooding to talk about. It's still going to be breezy, but you see most of the rain staying to our north and west. It'll be wet at times, but most of the rain staying to our north and west here. Then as we go into our Sunday night, some pockets of rain, mainly in Ocean County. Here's a look at the storm threats. I'm most concerned about the rainfall flooding and the beach erosion. I've been saying this for the past 2 days. Wind damage, though, I did actually bump up to a moderate here because we are expecting wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour at the Jersey Shore. And while the power grid actually does a pretty good job of protection in these kind of situations, you can still get some trees that get knocked down or some other kinds of damage. Tidal flooding, I think it's mainly going to be minor flood stage here. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Here's a look at our forecast rainfall totals. This is why I'm worried about the flooding. I mean, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 inches of rain here. That's going to create some basements that flood. Streams and creeks are going to flood. Maybe even some of the bigger rivers like the Mullica River will get high as well here. We take a look at our gusts. This is for Saturday here, up to 60 miles an hour in those orange areas. That includes places like Cape May, Fortescue, Memora, Atlantic City, Seaside Heights, and Seaside Park. 50 miles an hour for the rest of our coverage area. Then the further north and west you go, we're up to 40 miles an hour and no damage expected there. Here's a look at our tidal flooding forecast. It's either minor or moderate depending on the situation. Here is our areas of flood. We'll look at Atlantic City for you here. This is minor flood stage. This is what you would expect. Areas in green, partially underwater. Areas in blue, fully underwater here. And some parts of Venice Park are in that blue. But watch what happens as we go to moderate flood stage here. Kind of a different story. We're talking about numerous roads that flood in this situation here. And it is tough to get around not just Atlantic City, but Absecon Island in moderate flood stage. And that's possible for 2 hours on Saturday afternoon here with that high tide. Take a look at storm surge because this is very closely related to the coastal flooding. We are expecting 2 feet of storm surge. That's why we're going to have this coastal flooding. So normally sea level is well below where any buildings would be here. But when you get an ocean surge of water from the strong winds coming from the onshore direction here, that pushes that water onto normally dry land. So 3 feet of storm surge, 6 feet of storm surge, 12 feet of storm surge, it doesn't matter. It will come and it will create issues. But of course, the higher that surge is, the more issues we will see. Here's a look at our inland 7-day forecast. So a lot of rain icons from Saturday through Wednesday, and I get that. But it's really Saturday that is the wettest day for us. That day you could pretty much call a washout. Of course, we got those strong winds, damaging winds possibly, and some coastal flooding. Sunday morning we have coastal flooding. I think 70% of your Sunday's dry. I think 90% of your Monday will be dry. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm pessimistically going to say we see a few showers. I don't think it's a washout, though. Over at the shore, we're talking about temperatures in the upper 60s here across the area with that tidal flooding that is going to be likely as we get additional winds coming from the east. We'll have more details for you throughout the day. Follow me at pressabac.com/weather for the latest, as well as any closings that happen this weekend because of the storm.